really something, huh? All right, let's continue on with the show.
Now, Adam?
Not now, John. We have something else. Now, as much as this is an election year, I thought it might be appropriate that we present something with a bit of a political theme.
No.
The ladies have a strong voice today, but it seems like, well, they may have had something to say back in the day as well. I present to you the ladies of the revolution. The year is 1775, in an undisclosed meeting location in the American colonies. Let's meet our cast of characters.
Abigail Adams, wife of John Adams, and future First Lady.
Kitty Green, wife of General Green, and future co-inventor of the cotton gin.
Martha Washington, wife of General Washington, and future First Lady.
Deborah Franklin, wife of Benjamin Franklin, who ran the American Post Office for her husband, among many other things.
Benjamin Franklin, husband to Deborah Franklin, who did something or other, I can't recall.
Martha Jefferson, wife of Thomas Jefferson, who passes away before her husband becomes president.
Molly Pitcher,
woman who was the symbol of the true revolutionary gal, probably based on the real life of Mary Hayes.
Molly Hatchet, redneck woman who carries a hatchet based on no one.
And I'm Sally Hemings, slave to Martha Jefferson, rumored to be half-sister, and after Martha's death, took very good care of Thomas Jefferson.
Emily Geiger, brave messenger, saved an important message from enemy hands.
I call to order the First Women's Continental Congress.
What? You told me this was going to be a sewing bee.
I, Abigail Adams, will become president.
President. Now, Abigail.
The floor recognizes the Honorable Martha Washington.
I find this whole gathering to be improper.
Well, I find the fact that our husbands excluding us from participating in the Continental Congress improper.
She's a hothead, just like her husband.
What's that, Mrs. Franklin?
Nothing, dear. Carry on.
Don't you all find it ironic that our husbands are demanding a voice for America from the British Parliament, but they will not give us one?
We know our place, Abigail.
And our husbands do not. They rise up while they push us down.
Amen, sister.
I'm sorry, Abigail, but if you'll excuse me.
Martha, please wait. Stay and listen. You don't have to agree, but Abigail has a right to be heard.
Thank you, Kitty.
I, for one, think this is all so exciting. Perhaps where our husbands have failed, we might succeed. They fight and argue, but we all get along quite nicely.
Do we?
Come, Mrs. Franklin. The whole idea should appeal to you. Do you enjoy quietly doing all your husband's work for him? Do you enjoy running the United States Post Office? Managing his affairs? While he flitters about Europe, whining and dining potential allies?
Oh, the stories I've heard about Benjamin Franklin and the French courts.
So much for getting along. I believe I'll be going now.
No, I'm sorry, Deborah. I thought you might find it humorous. I didn't mean to offend.
I will not stay here and play silly girls' games such as yourself, Kitty Green. I must excuse myself, Madam President.
Deborah, what are you doing here?
Plotting a revolution of our own, it seems.
Well, I forbid you participating in this silly session.
You what? You forbid me?
I refuse to see you participate in this foolishness.
Really? Well, too bad.
What?
Boston. Imagine dumping all that lovely tea into the harbor. We could burn our petticoats.
That is way too 1760s.
How about a symbol? A symbol? A woman that symbolizes what we stand for. Ladies, first we have Molly Pitcher. She is the brave woman who ran pitchers of water to the cannons to cool them during battle. When her husband fell under enemy fire, she took his post and fired the cannon. And over here, we have Molly Hatchet.
All in favor of adopting Molly Pitcher as the symbol?
Aye.
Opposed?
I shall not fail you, ladies.
Okay, can we do something important now? Let's find any way possible to keep our households in order. Yes, while the men play politics, someone needs to keep the money coming in, which is why I should go.
Even us women of better means have had to make sacrifices.
Such as,
We have given up the drinking of tea and started drinking coffee. Horrid stuff.
And we plan on making our own clothing. No more imported British goods for us. A total boycott of anything from England.
That's wonderful, ladies. That will get their attention.
And Mrs. Washington and I plan to keep the troops clothed and fed.
Yes, the men are deserting at an alarming rate. Our kindness, food, and donations of clothing have made a difference.
I hear Mrs. Green keeps the men quite happy. I'm just saying, there is talk.
Ladies, please. My goal is to do something quickly. Already our husbands have formed the Second Continental Congress, and they haven't come to any solution.
Who is talking? What kind of talk?
I will vouch for Mrs. Green. Yes, she was seen dancing with my husband, General Washington.
For 3 hours.
It was a dancing contest. He was quite good.
I'll bet he was.
Ladies, please. Ladies, order, order.
Come sit, my dear.
Aren't you Emily Geiger? You're a messenger for my husband, General Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Emily is one of the bravest women I know. Much braver than that other messenger, Paul Revere, that everyone talks about. The British are coming, the British are coming. Miss Geiger risked her life delivering a message that saved my husband's life. She carried the message, and when she was captured, she swallowed it down to avoid giving up sensitive information. Later, she delivered the message verbally to Sumter and brought the much-needed help to my husband. Thank you, Emily.
I believe she has a message for us.
I heard news from Charleston. Breed's Hill's lost.
Is that near Bunker Hill?
Duh, it is Bunker Hill.
Yes, the men fought hard, but they ran out of ammunition. And with just a few bullets left, Colonel Prescott ordered his men. He said, "Don't fire until you can see the eyes of the British soldiers. Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes," he said.
Such bravery.
Such stupidity.
Well, there is something else we can do. We can make ammunition then.
I'd rather make peace.
We melt down all our pewter and silver, and we make bullets.
Our silver, really? Isn't there something else we could use?
How about the statue of King George? It's made of lead, perfect for bullets.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed?
I rather like the idea. I was just picturing the look on my husband's face when he finds out we did this.
Well, meeting adjourned, ladies. Let's make some bullets.
Are you coming, Abigail?
Oh, in a moment. I want to finish my letter to Mr. Adams. Dear John, in the new code of laws which I for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power in the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to form a rebellion, and we will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. Your loving wife, Abigail.
How'd you like that, folks? You thought today's women were feisty. Everybody grab yourself some fresh drinks and relax.
Speaking of babies and ears, little Johnny's neighbor had a baby. Fortunately, the baby was born without ears. Well, Johnny and his mom were going to go visit the baby. But before they left, Johnny's mother said, if you say anything about that baby's ears or the lack of, you're going to get a spanking. Remember those days? Well, Johnny goes over to the house with his mom, and he walks into the baby's room, he looks into the crib, and he says, oh, what a beautiful baby. Look at that baby's face. Look at those fingers. Look at the tiny toes. Then Johnny looked up at the baby's mom. He said, tell me, how's the baby's eyesight? And the mother said, the baby's eyesight is fine. Why? He said, well, that's great, because if he had to wear glasses, he'd be out of luck.
Hey guys, how do you get a blonde on the roof? How? Yell, drinks are on the house!
Blonde jokes. I have one. So there are these two guys that come out of a bar, and the first one, he's staring up, and he says, oh, that's the moon. And the other guy comes along, you know, after he's come out of the bar, and he says, and the first guy says to the other guy, you know, what is that? You know, he says, oh, it's the sun. And then they're standing there arguing back and forth, and this blonde comes along, and they say, hey, what do you think that is? And she says, I don't know, I'm not from around here.
John liked this one. And Adam, two blondes come walking into a bar that serves food. So the bartender comes over as the ladies are taking their sandwiches out to eat them. And he asks them what they want to drink, and they start eating. He says, you can't eat your